Don't know if you can hear my squeaky saddle. I'm out for 25 or 30 mile ride tonight. I've done 10 miles already, and this is my first proper real descent of the evening. It's a bit of an old school 80s banger of a trail. Let's get down here. Whoa, nice sticking away. Oh, someone's been down in a mower. Lovely. And now I'm going to cruise along the South Downs Way a little bit towards Head Down and do a couple of trails in there, then over into Queen Elizabeth Country Park for a few trails in there. I don't know why I do it, but usually about autumn time I get an urge to stick a rigid fork on my bike and go back to some old school mountain biking. So there it is on the bike, and it is a Pipe Dreams bike packing fork. It is adjusted for a 120mm suspension fork, so it doesn't mess up the geometry on my bike at all. These little bosses are so you can put a rack on the side of the fork for carrying wherever you need to for bike packing. Anyway, that's enough talking. Let's ride and let's see if I can find my way down this trail in the dark and the leaf cover. Nope, we got that wrong already. That wasn't a very good start. That time of year where there's so many leaves on the ground, you can't see where you're going, and this is going to be a test of camera stabilisation and my front brake light, my front light mount, whether that can stand up to the rigid fork. Or there's a little dairy thing there, don't know whether you'd have seen that. I don't know why I like doing everything the hard way, but I quite like the idea of riding over winter with a rigid fork. Takes a bit of getting used to. You certainly have to relearn grip and how to feel for it. Right, back to the top, and we'll find another enduro trail that's a bit more cross-country-ish. Back in the mid to late 80s when I started mountain biking, we didn't have trails like this to ride. No one had even thought about building them yet, so we didn't really know how terrible our bikes were. I mean, at the time we thought they were amazing. It's only with hindsight, looking back now, that we know how bad they actually were. I mean, if you try to do this on one of those bikes now, it'd be terrifying. With a modern mountain bike, with modern geometry, and still with a rigid fork, is still in a different league to what we had back then. You used to have to adjust your brakes before every ride so that they will work into their maximum power. Whoa. This is only my second ride on my rigid fork this year. I put it on Sunday and did about a 45-mile cross-country ride on it. Quite a mellow one, so didn't really push it that hard. This is definitely pushing a little bit harder than most people would probably do on a rigid fork, but it's such good fun. It teaches you so much about bike handling, feeling for grip, using your body, absorb jumps and drops. Ooh. I mean, it's definitely slower than running a suspension fork, which is obvious really, but once you get used to it and dialed into it, you can get a surprising lick of speed up. Not where I am. Off camber fun. I'm sure that should be bumpy. One thing I do know is I've got way too much air in my tyres. Right, I'm going to climb up into Queen Elizabeth Climbing Park now and do a couple of trails in there. I've climbed to the very highest point of the country park now, so I'm going to do this lovely little descent here. Oh, the grass is quite wet, so I hope I haven't got too much moisture on the lens. This is a pretty basic trail, nothing too technical. Although a wheel bouncing moment there. Ha ha ha. These trails are crying out for some more rain, which looks like it's going to arrive in abundance next week, unfortunately. Right, going to do the red climb back to the top and then have a mellow run down the blue climb and start heading home. Right, let's finish off on what is the start of the red descent. It then switches into the blue and we'll cruise the whole length of the blue descent. Ooh, I forget, I've got about 19 psi in my front tyre and about 22 in the back. Normally when I'm running a rigid bike I'd be running 16 front and rear. Oh, I forgot about that. Lesson learnt for next time I ride. Oh, a sniffy nose. That's a bit pedally, this bit. Sorry if it's boring. Nice to make the most of these conditions. Damp, but by no means wet. Still a fair amount of looseness to them. Yeah, when they're like this, they're quite loose and bobbly. Right, now we're on to the best part of the blue. Oh, hey. And the kitty litter is still loose on here. Always take that option there. Whoa! Feel the front tyre slipping on the grit. And then we've got this little whoop. Wheel through them. Good place to break your little fingers. Whoa! Little hint of a front wheel slide there. And then this is the best bit. All for blue. Up there. Pump that. Ooh. Ooh, have a quick sniff. Wah. Right. That's the best bit of the blue done. Now it's a bit of a pedally cruise to the bottom. This part of the trail undulates, so it always feels like hard work. Now it starts to point back down properly. Hey. Perfect, that was lovely. Time to cruise off home, eat chili flavoured peanuts and drink strawberry Vimto, I think. Thank you for watching and see you again soon. Bye.